So let's kick it off with a little bit of your background and how you started in football. I'd love to start there.
I started off in Little League, man. I've been playing since flag football since I was about 5 years old. Gradually, just fell deeper in love with the game as time went by. Ended up going to Cedar Hill High School and was fortunate enough to win a state championship with that team, thank God, and just kept it going, man.
Nice, man.
Ended up at Tulsa.
What positions did you play in high school?
I did outside linebacker, middle linebacker, and defensive end.
Oh, no offense? No two-way player?
Nah, no offense, man. We had a lot of weapons.
Gotcha.
So I don't think they needed me on offense, honestly.
Nice, man. And so talk to me more about the recruiting process. What kind of offers did you have? What interest did you have from schools around the country?
The crazy thing is, which people probably don't know, I only came out with one offer. No Division II offers, only one Division I, which was Tulsa, of course. And, I think that was more because at a young age of only 17, turning 18 in college, I only weighed about 200 pounds, 205 wow. 205 at the most. So, I think a lot of teams didn't think that I would be able to put on the weight or I wouldn't be able to, fill out my body frame. Mm-hmm. And, it just took a lot of hard work and whatnot. But, I did have interest from a lot of Big 12 schools, a lot of SEC schools, but nobody ever pulled the trigger. So
yeah, and with Tulsa, did they reach out to you, or were you reaching out to them? How did that process work?
I think it was sort of a mutual thing. They reached out to me, and then I ended up visiting their campus for junior day, mm-hmm. and then that's when I got offered the scholarship. And like I said, that was my last one, so first and last.
There you go, man. Well, let's go ahead and dive more into your play at Tulsa. I think looking at you as an edge defender in this class, I think there are a lot of the times where you're playing inside the tackles, not necessarily outside the tackles, but we kind of see you better performing outside the tackles. From a usage standpoint, where do you see yourself playing in the NFL?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think I like to see myself on the outside, more of a 5 technique. I feel like that just sort of puts me on the island with guys. We mainly ran 3-3-5, which was a 3-man front. So most of the time I was dealing with 2 people. If I did beat the tackle, the guard would come and help out. A lot of double teams, but I think if I end up in a 4-man front or even a 3-man front still, but more primarily on the outside, I think that'll help, really show my game to its max potential.
Yeah. Talk to me about the differences in that alignment, because I think it is important talking about playing just inside the tackle or even like outside shoulder of the guard versus playing more, like you said, like on an island versus an edge defender. I think what you're doing at the snap, what you're keying on is a lot different. So, I would love to hear your take on the difference between playing inside, like where you were, or even outside.
The difference is really I would say it's a lot of differences, but at the same time, man, defensive line is defensive line. So typically on the inside, playing as a 3 technique or a 4 technique, you do have more to worry about as compared to a 5, like we said earlier, being on the island. In a 3 technique, you typically focus more on the guard, which are more heavier guys than the tackles. Obviously less athletic, depending on who you're scouting. But, you can have the tackle and the guard crack down on you, mm-hmm. or in a 5 technique, you only have to worry about the tackle. So it's really just the load of pressure, I guess you would say. Playing in that 3 technique, you can sort of penetrate more, instead of having to take the edge. If the guard pulls, you can get in his hip pocket, get in the backfield. But, on the 5 technique, you really just have to dominate your guy and hope that the play call comes to your side most of the time.
And talking to other edge defenders, they talk about like kind of a pre-snap pass rush plan. From you specifically, when you're playing inside, that pass rush plan has got to be so much different than when you are playing 5 technique. And I think more experience, more opportunities at 5 technique, you're going to have better opportunities to put together that pass rush plan. In a given game week, talk to me about preparation, what you do from a film study standpoint to prepare for your opponent.
I usually look at film. I try to look at it at least 3 or 4 times before my game day. I usually look at down and distance, pass rush tendencies, primarily the offensive line. You know, who do they like to go to on third and fourth downs? My bad. My coach was calling me.
You're good, man.
But usually, like, who do they go to on third and fourth downs? You know, do they like to run the screens with third and 5+? Do they like to run the tunnel screens, wide receiver screens? Really, how far is how deep is the quarterback dropping on his drop passes? Is he, you know, dropping 6 and then stepping up 2? Because, I mean, all of that plays a difference in the game plan, of course. And, I mean, a lot of the greats that I've spoken to, they say not to bring a game plan into the game, but more just take what they give you.
Yeah.
But I think it can sort of go both ways. You know, I think that you study those tendencies of the offense, and that'll definitely give you a good heads up.
Do you do a ton of like self-study? Do you watch your own film and try and critique that?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I probably do that, if not more than just the same as much as me critiquing other guys on the offense. Just you know, seeing if I'm on a stunt, if I'm going inside, am I tipping it off by, you know, tilting my hips a certain way? Is my butt higher or lower when I'm ripping different gaps, or if I'm taking off in pass rush? And I think the main thing is just trying to stay unpredictable. Yeah. You know, just trying to make sure I look the same in pretty much every position.
And so looking at the NFL, or talking with the NFL teams at the Combine, what was some of the feedback they gave you, both positive and negative? What did they like about your game? What do you think they saw that you could improve on in the NFL?
I think they like my style of play, my motor, you know, playing relentless. I think they said that I can work on my flexibility a little bit more and, you know, just striking with my hands, getting a better strike. But, I mean, I think everybody has something to work on, so it was real good to get those different perspectives, especially from that level of education in football. I think that helped a lot.
Did teams talk about where they wanted to play you at the next level? Did any of them want you to add weight, maybe play more of an interior role? Or did a lot of teams see you as kind of this edge defender, outside type of guy?
I think a lot of teams see me as a edge guy, you know, if not outside linebacker. That's what I heard pretty often. But as far as gaining weight or losing weight, I think 260 is a pretty good weight, and I honestly haven't heard much about gaining weight or losing weight, if anything at all. Yeah, I think I'm at a...
Getting in at 260, did you have to kind of beef up to that weight, or were you cutting to get down to 260?
So the heaviest I ever got was 268. Okay. And that was my junior year spring, so almost 2 years ago.
Waffle House strips, or what's the diet plan there?
Man, I was just peanut butter jellies, milkshakes, protein shakes.
That'll do it.
You know, hitting the weights after heavy meals. Yeah, that stuff helped put on muscle. But I was more concerned about my film my senior year. Mm-hmm. So I decided to lose weight. I got down to about 260 going into fall camp, and then I lost about another 5 or 4 pounds. So I ended up playing my senior year at about 255. So I don't think controlling my weight is necessarily a hard thing for me to do, honestly.
Nice, man. Well, I'd like to finish with this. Is there a player in the NFL that you, or players in the NFL that you watch a lot of tape on to kind of emulate your game after, learn from, et cetera?
I would say, if not Von Miller, then Khalil Mack. I try to watch a lot of the greats, man, just because what I noticed about them is they can play the run and rush the passer. Yep. And, I mean, that's sort of what I hang my hat on, trying to do both. And because, I mean, in order to get to third down, you got to go through first and second. So I try to watch guys like that who can do both and who play relentless with a nice chip on their shoulder.
Very good, man. Well, I really appreciate the time, and best of luck moving forward.
Appreciate you a lot, man.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.